everybody. On the heels of Broadcom's VMware Explorer, we're taking a look back at the few days event and some of the amazing announcements and innovation from the show with Tasha. Tasha, how are you?
I'm great. Super happy to chat today.
Well, thanks for being here. You had an amazing on-stage presence as well as so many announcements. Have you caught your breath? Are you back on terra firma after that amazing week?
Not yet. Yeah, we're just moving a million miles an hour over here. But at least things never get boring.
Fantastic. Well, that's one thing you and your team are not. So maybe introduce yourself and your role and team within Broadcom.
Yeah, so I'm Tasha Drew. I run the engineering team that is responsible for delivering the private AI services capabilities within VMware Cloud Foundation. So, really looking at model gallery, model runtime, and ML API gateway, data indexing and retrieval, agent builder, as well as the VMware Intelligent Assist.
Yeah, so much innovation announced in Las Vegas. Maybe at a high level, how are you weaving AI into VMware Cloud Foundation? What's the bigger, let's say, vision behind the move?
Yeah, so we identified really, Chris Wolf sort of made this big announcement at VMware Explorer 2023 about private AI. And he really looked at where AI was going and the incredible excitement around generative AI that was taking off. And he said, he kind of put a flag up and said, there's going to be a huge driver for running these workloads on-prem in the data center with private and sensitive data that has governance and laws around it. How are we going to protect that data? How are we going to make sure that we have strong role-based access control across how we're sharing models, especially when those models have been exposed and fine-tuned on sensitive data and now need to be appropriately handled? And how are we going to protect our IP? How are we going to make sure there's no IP loss in various scenarios or potential injection of unsafe IP into our really sensitive code bases? So he laid out this sort of roadmap for how enterprises could achieve private AI. And VMware and VCF has really been looking at how do we help all of our customers achieve the goals of private AI with a lot of different product capabilities that we've been putting out there for the last couple of years. So now kind of transitioning to where we are right now, we have a nice AI platform now baked into VCF for customers to be able to manage and have model governance, scale their models as a service for all of their users for very efficient use of those expensive GPU compute infrastructure, and then start to get their data programmatically into vector databases from original document locations to start building it, being able to easily build RAG applications. And now we're going to use that same platform and capability to also deliver VCF Intelligent Assist. So use the exact same platform to deliver in product capabilities, meaning we're constantly dogfooding our own platform, scaling our own platform, testing it, living it, breathing it, which is really the best way to deliver a rock solid platform if you have to live and die on the hill that you're giving other people.
Fantastic. And of course, VMware has always been about simplifying infrastructure. Now, how are you going about making AI-ready infrastructure easier to consume?
Yes. Yeah. So basically, what we've seen is, and this was a surprise to us initially, was there's a huge movement to have all of your AI workloads in bare metal configuration. So initially, we said, look, we see that, right? Like for training, you're going to beat those GPUs to death anyway. There's not a great virtualization use case. So what we're going to go after is let's make it easy to serve inference, scale it, have all of the sort of enterprise grade capabilities that you need when you're delivering production services. And let's make it easy to do fine tuning marketing, those are going to be our major use cases. And we've seen a lot of uptick there, but we've also started to see that people are actually starting to migrate bare metal AI workloads onto VCF because they really need the manageability, the enterprise grade manageability of being able to do scheduled downtime, scheduled maintenance. How are we going to move these workloads around? How are we going to scale, right? Like, let's just have a platform that's been doing that for 20, 25 years, now addressing the needs of the AI workloads. So what we see now is the bare metal use cases are more being left to the data science team, where they're experimenting, sure, go for it. But as soon as something starts moving into production in the data center, people really want it running on VCF.
Fantastic. And you announced so many new partnerships and integrations and expanded the ecosystem at VMware Explorer. What role does that play, do you think, in accelerating AI adoption with companies like AMD and Canonical and Ubuntu, with so many others?
Yeah, so we really see our role to play is open ecosystem. So how are we helping people adopt best of breed technologies and technologies that fit their use cases in a really seamless, predictable, manageable way? And so as far as a lot of the announcements you saw from us this conference, you saw AMD, we are continuing to invest heavily with NVIDIA. We have support for Intel Gaudi. So really kind of just showing like you can run all of your workloads on VCF and have access to all of these different accelerators depending on what your business case is. We're going to be there with you. With Canonical, just really having a nice, strong enterprise Linux story, right? For people, a lot of folks have heavily invested in Canonical and Ubuntu already. They have that in their tool chain and they love having it fully supported in the product as well.
Fantastic opportunity. So the industry is abuzz with autonomous operations and agentic AI. How close are we to fully self-managed, self-healing infrastructure, data centers, and more?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, right now the industry is abuzz with MCP, Model Context Protocol, advanced agentic workflow. These are all things that we are adding to the agent builder capability in VCF. So, over the next few releases from us, you're going to start to see MCP. You're going to start to see us helping enterprises operationalize how they manage MCP. So, MCP itself is just a protocol. There's a lot of capabilities that the ecosystem is only starting to realize it needs. Standard authentication mechanisms, OAuth integration. How do you make sure that you as an IT team have control over what MCP servers you're choosing to recognize, and then what tools in those servers you really want your teams using to start to kind of try to bulletproof the workflows that the agents can take and make sure you kind of limit your liability while still being able to take advantage of the technology. So we're going to be adding support for that for our customers building their agents in VCF. We're going to be adding a tools gallery and also building in a distributed tracing so you can see exactly what that model to agent to tool trace looks like, who's doing what where, checking authentication at every step of that interaction to make sure you don't have any privilege escalation, baking that all in for the customer, but also baking it all in for the intelligent assist. So now you can start to have MCP servers per function in VCF. You can start to say, what do you really, so one of the things I'm doing with customers is I know everyone's really excited about MCP because there's been so much buzz, but if you take a step back, you're kind of like, what are the workflows people want to have, right? Like, and I hear a lot of ones that just, are wonderful. Like, I just want my users to be able to be in a Slack channel and say, list VMs and get a list of all their VMs. And I don't have to go to this weird spreadsheet I've been maintaining, right? Like, and so really kind of starting to understand what are these workflows that just reduce toil on the VI admins that we can start to completely automate with a lot of these tools.
Fantastic. One of the things I love about Explorer is always the real world examples where customers talk about their use cases and AI workloads. And Walmart was one example, really doubling down and standardizing on VCF. That must be pretty rewarding. Maybe talk a little bit about that or any other customer stories, anecdotes that you recall from the big week.
Yeah. I've been involved with Walmart off and on, just from a number of different projects back to my Octo days. And so seeing that big announcement with them was really awesome. We've had such a great partnership with them for so long. I think for me, some of the stories that really stuck out were from a lot of our partners in the AI space who are looking at how do we operationalize delivering models as a service, and then how do we start to bring workloads that have been really cloud native, because the cloud is where we're starting to the cloud is kind of where everyone starts out
Hmm.
building AI, because you have the ease of access to GPU based infrastructure. You don't have a long procurement cycle, and you have every tool on earth. But then as people scale to production use, what you really start to see is that the cost of maintaining those services can become very, very great. And now that you have a predictable workload, people want to bring those back on-prem and start taking advantage of the cost savings of a data center workload. And so I myself ended up in a lot of customer and partner briefings where it was just walking through the different use cases, customer by customer, partner by partner, for how they want to deploy these. One of the ones that I found the most interesting was definitely vehicle manufacturing lines, right?
Mm.
Like completely air gapped, has to be on, like has no room for error, but just running a rack per production line basically, right? So all of
Mm.
those like really kind of unique configurations for how people want to deploy the services and run the services, but then also seeing the standard patterns between them at the platform level.
Oh, super exciting to see that unfold. Well, thanks so much for just a little flashback to the busy week, and I can't wait for what's next. What are you excited about over the next weeks and months? Probably heads down delivering all of this technology to customers.
Yeah, we're getting ready for our next big release here, and so really just focused on getting a private AI into everyone's hands. That was our
Mhm.
big announce at VMware Explorer, is that private AI is now included with VMware Cloud Foundation. So really focused on the enablement there, and know that there's a ton of excitement for folks. In addition to that, the big features that my team's really focused on is that initial MCP capabilities within Agent Builder and Private AI, those initial integrations, and then getting our tech preview of the Intelligent Assist out early next year.
Can't wait to see it. Thanks so much for the update. I'll let you get back to work, but congratulations on an amazing week.
Thanks, Evan. Great to chat.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for listening and watching and sharing this episode. Take care.